Hello, good morning, everyone.
Good morning, all. It is my privilege. Good morning, all. It is my privilege to introduce our esteemed guest speaker, Mr. Rex Jesudas, sir. With over 25 years of extensive experience in the IT landscape, he brings a wealth of knowledge and expertise to the table. Currently associated with LTI Mindtree, he has showcased remarkable proficiency across various domains, including consulting, digital transformation, edge, and IoT platforms. His journey is not only marked by his tenure but also by his remarkable achievements. He holds numerous certifications, including the Leadership Program, Enable Growth and Engagement at Work from SP Jain and MCPM, Mindtree Certified Project Management. His technical acumen is truly commendable with competencies in edge, cloud technologies such as Docker, multi tenancy, and web protocols. Furthermore, his programming prowess extends to the language like Python, C Sharp, along with expertise in Kubernetes and Grafana. His dedication to staying at the forefront of technological advancement is evident, making him a valuable asset to any organization. Without further ado, let us warmly welcome Mr. Rex Jesudas sir to share his insights and expertise with us.
Thank you, team. And then, along with me, I have one of my one of our solution architect who is expertised in across all the cloud ecosystems. He is Kaustubh Mehta, who is there on the call. So he would also help you to give you a deep dive thing sessions, and of course it depends on the level what each one of you want to understand. Okay, that's the thing. And Kaustubh is almost 18-20 years of experiences and spread across multiple cloud ecosystems, end-to-end life cycle journeys, multiple implementation. Is a core techie into these things. Kaustubh, if you can say hi and then we can start.
Hey guys, hello.
Okay. Thanks, Kaustubh. So, team, on the call, every one of you can, maybe probably in case any questions or anything, please do raise your hands or maybe call out. We'll stop it. But what we have tried to do is, uh, what we are trying to do is today, as per my understanding, is about introducing you to about the cloud ecosystems journey and deep dive on some of the cases what we have been working practically. Though what we have tried to do is try to take some cases which is in real life being used by each one of us. Okay, and so that you can understand and see how the entire cloud journey is and what is the kind of architecture it is and what kind of layers comes into play when we talk from the time go for a cloud. Okay, now do we are we going to put you an architecture and show you? We may or may not. Okay, if you require, you tell us. But what we would show you is that how that works, what are the different kind of services involved in it, and why do we require all of those things. That is what we are trying to do, and I'm hoping the here in this audiences it is students and faculties all involved in it. So any if you want on the way to us to talk on any real-time case study further, please do call us. So I would request faculty members in case they feel anything, please do ping us. I will take something on that as well. Just trying to share the screen. Allow to share the screen. Small large, I don't know. Can't show you my current permission. Can you give me permission to share the screen for presenter thing, please? You must grant permission in order to share your screen. Is it a problem with me? Hmm.
அதனால ஒரு மாதிரி கொஞ்சம் சேர்த்து கொடுக்கணும், ஒன்று சேர்த்து கொடுக்கலாம்.
Hello? Not able to share the screen, team. That is
So permission has been granted, sir. You can share your screen.
okay. Let me try. First up, if you are able
வராது
to.
உங்களுக்கு, நானும் வராது.
இந்தாங்க சார்.
Let me try to do it with mine. Just give me a sec.
You are able to see this window. Are you able to see this PPT?
Hmm. Yeah, it's coming up now.
Just confirm if it has come. All just give a voice over if you are able to see the slide, because I don't know whether. Kaustubh, you are able to see it?
Yeah, I'm able to see it.
Any other faculties or students, can you please confirm, please? Hello.
Sir, it's
Students,
visible, sir.
yeah, able to see?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much for confirmation.
You can proceed, sir.
Okay, so team, let's talk, understand how and why, where we are in this journey in the life. So as you would have heard that my personal experience evolves from almost the era of 90s, when I myself have completed my education around 1996, completing my BScs and then my IT things, and stepping into the organizations where we were kind of in the era when you might have not even heard, or many of you would have not born also, or you would have born at that point of time. The era where we have been using, kind of desktops and all, and we did not have any proper network connectivity, a lot of chat thing, which at that moment that was good for us, happy things. So, and then the evolving of things from there to what we are today is a big changeover of it, I would say. So I've just taken one example of the days when we were in the era, or when our people were there and you guys are also there. So when just simple example, it at a personal level, when we saw in the era of 90s, when we were doing things and all, even simple things for storing your phone's numbers, or if you have any pictures or anything, I used to have it manually done, or my mind share would be there, that if I remember my number, or someone would go and note it on the calendars. When I say calendar, is a physical date calendar. Huh? There was no outlooks, no this thing kind of a thing, right? They would go and put it there, or note it on a small paper note, big kind of a notepads and all, which means that time it was comfort for us. It will be carried in a pocket with a pen, pencil, and all those stuff, and happy to use it. No mobiles, so any desk phones and all those stuff. So that was an era of things which was evolved there. And then we step into the digitization era, which started into some level, where you find some kind of desktops coming into place, better computers coming into play. All of those started coming in, and then there's the gadgets started thinking. Many of you, I don't know whether you heard about iPod. It was there for only listening for music and all. And similarly, if you see a gadget for a phone diary, which you see down, there's a phone diary which used to be there, which made us bit of more digitization. The difference, only thing was here, is that instead of paper, I am storing it into a machine and individual machine. So I have this one which you see, I can only store my phone numbers and address or something like that, but a limited one. I would be able to say 128 or 200 or 300, not more than that. My pictures and all still was manual, right? A paper digital pictures, or in some cases there was some digital thing coming. We moved from that era to the next era where we all had mobile devices stepping in, and this mobile devices started coming in around 2000 onwards, okay, 2001, 2002, or something like that. When we had each a call of a mobile would be around what you called 16 rupees or 20 rupees or 25 rupees, which we used to spend per minute kind of a thing. And that time it was not a touch screen kind of a mobiles and all those stuff. It used to be a mobile of normal numerical mobiles which used to have. And that also modified into today's type of mobiles where you have lots and lots of things which has features of you can store the things, you can store the pictures, you can store everything onto it. Now, still it is into the individual devices which you have got it. So, which means you have a capacity challenge, you have a things, you keep deleting things, you keep housekeeping things, you do a lot of things. And so now this were one, if you see there is a change in the technology era by era, and everything bringing up new things. And people started finding challenges as well. And that's why people like this example of one challenge where I have to, if my memory is down or my storage is gone, I need to go and change it. I need to add additional things, or I have to have external hard disk. A lot of things we have evolved in. My laptops, I would go and buy for 1 terabytes of things and all those things. We can do some things, right, to a certain level.
Hello,
But
sir.
yeah,
Slide are not changing. We are on first slide.
we're not able to see number two, which is hello. Are you not seeing the evolution of organizing information?
No, sir. We are.
Kaustubh, do you want to try sharing?
Let me just try it.
Yeah. You have shared it, right, Kaustubh?
No, I'm sharing my screen now. Rex, it was your screen which was shared.
Okay, but I am able to. Okay.
Is it visible now?
It is. Now yours is coming. Yes. You can put it on slide mode.
Okay.
Yes, it is visible, sir.
Okay.
Yes, it is visible.
Okay, so this I think the slide number two, which I was talking to your team that let me quickly recap it, is the era from where I started with the person dependent using different kind of notepads and all, bringing those information in a manual way of storing it, and enormous amount of things to be distributed independent lying here and there. So there's no way that you can control those informations and all. And then the era came in when there was a digitization started where your computer started coming in. You had some kind of phone diaries, for example, for storing only phone numbers and address in a digital way. And that helped us to at least bring something into one place. But again, we had challenges what there is about the capacity, the storage of the carrying of so many things in it. I cannot carry a desktop and go everywhere, right? I cannot, and the kind of things were there. Then this moved, people started solving that problem as well, and then they moved into a devices where mobile devices started coming from a communication point of view and storing contacts and all. But when the era started in the initial days of mobile, it was at around 16,000 rupees, 20 rupees, what I was talking about, but it was all numerical. Just a touch where you can type your contact number, store it, and then you would have heard about Nokia 3110, which if you go, it was a rugged device which if you throw from third floor also nothing will happen. So such kind of devices evolved and all, but over a period of time, that challenge got into changing into a touchscreen kind of a mobile or a smart mobiles, which you have smartphones which we have today, which has the capacity of doing everything. It has a mobile which can carry, it can photographs, it can have contacts, can store data, it can store doc, everything it can do. It became a device where for all of us things started storing. But again, this also have challenges about how do I make it more scalable, because after a certain period of time that also has some limitations. it has capacity problem, it has processing problem. You understand, all of us experience, right? If you see in your real life when you are using your mobile, you will always say that, oh man, my process, this is very slow, this video is not streaming well. All of us, we do that. Today you might have experienced that. Why does that problem comes in? Because your mobile capacity, your mobile processing power, your mobile has its own limitations on whatever it is, depending on the kind of size and capacity you buy. To solve further to that, the people now you see that many of your docs, which is integrated with your mobile, with your some kind of mail IDs, like Gmail. All of us know the Gmail usage, Hotmail. Many of them use many things. Now, it got integrated into that using Gmail. You would have seen the symbols, right, in many of your this thing in Gmail, which has a device, storage, and all this stuff. So people have started getting integrated with it. So now you don't even bother that if tomorrow your mobile switched off or mobile is conked off, you go replace a mobile, put your email ID, everything is there for you. The contact is there for you, the images are there for you, the photographs, the documents, everything is there. Where does it come from? How do you think that it is coming to you seamlessly without anything doing? Anyone can guess that? How can it seamlessly it gets transferred to your mobile? Anyone, one of you can guess this answer? No. Team, I think this has to be more interactive. I know we are at online this thing, but it's more good for you because you can understand things. If anyone, just one person, just guess, can give me the. It's not a problem, right or wrong. Okay. So I'm assuming that silence is that you all understanding things. Okay. So see, the reason is that today what is happening is after we start storing things in individual devices, the emails of the thing which came in, it said that okay, fine guys, but I will help you out by storing things with myself and giving you access everywhere, anywhere where you go. I will take care of your things. Don't worry about it with the things kind of a thing. Some entity like Google came in like that, or other guys who said that, guys, I understand your problem, I'm helping you, and I'll give you this. But what is the benefit for Google? Google says, minimum thing I'll give you free. Beyond that, yeah, you have to pay. So a lot of us buy it, this, and that's how Google makes money. You get benefited, and most of your things are moved into the. Now, the underlying business of this, how does this happen? That is where this entire cloud concept started coming in, where you had this particular, I'm not going into more detail that will be coming down, but this entire thing. So that's why if you see when it evolved to the next thing, right? If you see the evolution of the storage itself, it is one example of it. In 1971 to the era 2000 now. So if you see this floppy disk, this is the a disk which used to be stored. I don't know, none of you would have seen this. I have gone through this all era, okay, to see
Yeah,
this.
we have seen, sir,
Okay,
since
great.
1997.
Okay, great. Set some answers for that. That's good. So you see this each of these floppies, which we see, we had challenges for them. There used to be storage problem. There used to be a backup problem. Basically, when I say storage, storing this disk itself, because they after every 6 months or 3 months, if you go and back and try to do it, it will not read it. You have to be careful with it because the magnetic drives and all which would be there, which will get spoiled and these things. So we had a lot of challenges in this, and slowly it was solved with the CD and DVD drives. Now DVD drives is also gone. People have USBs and things have moved into SD cards, which are very minute things. Now, while all these storages are there, but still then there has to be somewhere which can be accessed anywhere from anything, and that is where cloud came into the play. And today, cloud has enormous kind of capabilities which can help us in doing multiple things. Just let's move on to the next slide. So, so while we talked and understand that why and how the need of cloud started coming in, or a kind of a mechanism where it can be helping you to, have a scalable model which is required to solve many of our challenges. So that's where we see a kind of a cloud services or a entity which came into play saying that I will give you everything. I'll give you a storage. I will give you databases. I will give you networks. I will give you everything. You just need to pay and take, right? It can be a kind of a what you called what you want. Based on that it will be given basically. It is not that I am going to tell you that you take this. You need a smaller space, I'll give you a smaller space. You need a bigger space, I'll give you a bigger space. You need not to worry how do you manage it. It is not my headache. You just tell me, you just subscribe, I will give you that. And that's where everything, talk about any kind of things what you read in your IT ecosystem. Everything is offered on the cloud ecosystem. On it, it has now. Where is this cloud ecosystem coming from, and how it is formed? Do you think it is the cloud which is the cloud which we see above our head in the thing, right? It is just named that way, right? Maybe it's more from the student's perspective. No, the cloud is again nothing like that. It is the Googles or the GCP or the Microsoft or these guys having data centers after data centers built in humongous big spaces where they have secured and kept a scalable way where they work in a different approaches, right? And they are kind of making it, and then we access those data centers basically through over the internet. That is what they do. So you will find data centers, or I would say that's what you would have heard about the jargons of a lot of data centers coming across. So data centers, one is that only. So there'll be of thousands and thousands of square feet of spaces fully air conditioned, which is covering. It has its high-end servers, processing memory, and all those stuff. And they slice and dice and dedicate for our own needs. And that's where this cloud. That's how the cloud architecture works in. If I am sitting at my home and I want to go and access, I just know that to go and say that let me go to Microsoft website or Microsoft Cloud link, or I would say my web services or web link. I go and check it. At the back end, everything is moving and going to a particular place which is near to you. For example, if Asia Pacific it is there, it might be some data centers which are hosted in India, and the same thing somewhere hosted in Europe. Someone want to access the same website, right? They are all seamlessly connected with heavy link of data pipelines and all, which helps them to connect. Yeah. So just move on this thing. So, what are the types of cloud computing which we talk about? So, while we understood that there is a cloud and there is some place, a data center, which helps us to become as a cloud, and like Microsoft guys or Amazon or any one of them, there are many clouds. Okay, so we might be knowing more of Amazon and Microsoft and others is GCP, but they are beyond that as well. There is depending on Alibaba. I don't know how many of you have heard in China is another one on it. So depending on the kind of our requirements, cloud providers have started giving us approaches. The left hand side, which is a deployment, this is up to us to devise it. It is to individual as me as an user that do I want my private cloud. Now, private cloud, what does that mean is I am creating for an organization like, let's take an example of organization which many of you might heard. Let's see, for example, we know that Reliance, right? Now, Reliance wants to create a private cloud. What does it do? It will create its all organization wide across. It would have a place approach where everything comes and resides on one place. So they would create their own data center. Under the data center, they would take care of everything, the storage, the space, and all. Now, what is the differentiation it brings in cloud versus this on-prem? The differentiation is that you have the ability to scale quickly. You need not to worry about your storage space. You need not to worry about processing space. You need not processing power. You need not to worry about security. You need not to worry about the turnaround time for anything you require, because that is on demand. So you put your demand you will get each of and everything quickly, and that's how it works, and that is the benefit which you get on it. Of course, we need to pay, but while paying, it is on. So now that is where the private cloud come into play, where an organization themselves build a cloud ecosystem across globally. Within their global organization. Basically, across the lines, if I want to put across India, it will have one single network under which people will be working, and they will not be worried about anything else. So that is a private kind of a thing, where they can, on requirement, if something is required from cloud provider, even cloud providers like Microsoft helps them to provide that as a private network as well. The second is the public one, which predominantly all of us use it today. Predominantly, all of our thing which comes in the public cloud area, where everything is taken care by the cloud provider, we just subscribe them, either in the way of PaaS or IaaS or software as a service, but we just subscribe that, and everything is taken care by the cloud providers. The third element is the hybrid one, which is the catching up market of the world in now, and that's where many of you would have heard about edge computing as one of the newer jargons coming in the IT industry. So it's like, you have a on-prem setup or in your thing, and along with integration with cloud ecosystem. So partial storage and few things get stored in the cloud, and others critical things you can keep it on-prem. So it's a kind of a hybrid setup which is there. So this is the third element which is now going to be a future in the market. The reason that hybrid is going to catch up is because with the kind of connectivity which has come up and the kind of speed within the on-prem networks are increasing because of 5Gs and 6Gs of the world coming up, your processing power or the speed with which the data can be accessed is very fast. And with the low cost of storage ecosystems of tera and terabytes of the things, many companies are trying to have their own local storage for and processing perspective for some of the critical things, and then they take the remaining things to the cloud, which will be more for a historical analysis. So this way, they are trying to balance between the cost, the security, and accessibility. So that is where the hybrid kind of approach is coming up. And based on this, there are service models which they come. This particular Costa will touch base in more detail down. They have some three different types of it depending on the kind of usage we want to do. Where infrastructure is entire thing, own infrastructure from them. Platform is as good as you own as a VM or a desktop for you. Software as a service is like you just subscribe. You just know that I am logging into a particular product on the cloud, and I'm just taking some information. You just know the product. You don't know where it's residing. So that's about the type of cloud we talk about. You can move on. So I'll not talk much about on this slide. It is more about what benefits. Let's just go on to the slide number 7. This is the 12 top trends or use cases which are being used today across the IT industries which is coming up. Of course, all this is because of certain customer use cases which you are trying to solve. Okay, so if we are talking about cloud perspective, these are some of those area which each and every one of us, whether it's faculty members or need to look and focus on this area a lot. Personally, me being from the industry, we have almost all these 12 areas. We teach each one of you students the practical way of doing it versus what you study in the colleges. So if you take this example and try to leverage some part of it during your college studies, which cannot always come from faculty because there is a curriculum of foundation they have to cover, but at the same time there are so much amount of things available in the Googles of the world, or so many Udemy's and many are there. Some of these learnings you should on your own do it, and probably implement some of those kind of projects within the college, and probably help others to learn. So this would help you guys to be market ready as well. This 12 top use cases which I'm talking about, okay? Introduction of the citizen developer is more about how do I see. I'm just giving that as a use case, but to do that, you need to do the end-to-end work from bringing all of the data together, residing them on the cloud, and all those stuff. Second, just take an example of AI/ML. You need the entire intelligence of AI guys. But it doesn't mean that AI means I know Python and I can do it. But you need to understand how I can use this data in a cloud. What kind of services are also available in that, which I can use some of the off-the-shelf services in the cloud, which would help me to accelerate my work on it. Azure ML is there. Many of you might know or not. You can check it out. So that kind of knowledge you need to understand, because each and every cloud providers give you thousands and thousands of services. All thousands are not required for us. If I'm doing Azure AML, I need some few of them. So you need to take your focus and look into those areas and deep diving of it. Okay. So and then when now disaster recovery and business continuity, 11th one. Now what is the role to play for all of us? The role for all of us is to, there are n number of services for that as well, which we can learn and get into those kind of. I'm just also connecting to all of you where you can look for your opportunities in the life and learnability. This is another core area which is required lots of knowledge and getting in deeper of the services, because it helps you seamlessly. Today whatever we see, if I'm in India, I'm in Europe, or I'm in America, I can access seamlessly my information anywhere, anytime. And 99.99% we talk about the downtime will not happen. So this is one of the core backend to work. Okay, so I pause here. This is the area which we talked about more to introduce you. Costa would you take you about some of the architecture thing, and he would give you one example of one big application which almost every one of us use, and what is the underlying architecture towards it. In case any
Uh,
questions, yeah,
am I audible?
yeah, Costa, you're audible.
Okay. Yeah. So guys, I will just touch base on slide number 6 quickly. So what advantages does the cloud offer? So basically, I will give you a real world example. When you have storage, right? So person A buys 1 TB hard disk, then somebody else buys 2 TB hard disk and things like that. Now, what you do is you are paying the cost for the hard disk one time, okay, and that might be 10K, 20K, and things like that. But you may not be using that kind of terabytes of hard disk immediately, okay. So, question here is, why do you want to pay that cost? Second is, two-person are using maybe 3 TB, buying 3 TBs of space, but why do you want to upfront pay that cost? Okay, so that is where one of the basic advantages of cloud comes in. So they have got models like pay as you go model, where somebody else purchases the disk for you. They make it available for you over the network. Okay, what you have to do is you only uh, pay for the capacity that you use for. Okay, and then the provider is giving you a shared infrastructure where you can go and it is his problem to maintain the hard disk, to manage the storage, everything. What you do is you have to just go and save your data, so the it is a benefit for you as well as an end user, and for a provider as well, since he is able to use the shared infrastructure that he has at scale. And as an end user, you are able to pay lower cost. So that is one of the biggest advantages that you get out of a cloud. And then all other things like managing downtimes, one of the hard disk crashes, so you need to take a backup. When it's an individual person, I can only buy 1 TB of hard disk. But when it comes to cloud, since it's a shared storage, okay, they have their own backup mechanisms, they have got their own retention mechanisms, everything. And since the cost is distributed across multiple players, everybody has to only pay a very small piece of it, and nobody has to pay individually the whole cost for maintaining backups and everything. So that is one of the biggest advantages that cloud offers you. Any questions here? Do you get what does the biggest advantage that cloud offers, and why is everyone moving towards cloud? Okay, I will take that as a no. Guys, I cannot see your if you are raising any hands. I cannot see that because my screen is shared. So let me know if just raise your voice or
Sir,
let me.
any cloud, free cloud space offered
Yeah. So for example, we use Google Drive, right? That is a free cloud space that you get.
for more,
Sorry.
if, if you want to more space.
No, so that is a limitation, because what people are doing is they give you some amount of free storage, okay, and beyond
Uh,
which, because they have to maintain and manage the infrastructure, so somewhere down the line they need to need a mechanism to recover their cost as well.
okay. Then how to identify
So,
security,
sorry,
security regarding security and reliability of cloud space storage?
I will come to that. I will come to that.
Okay.
Okay. So basically, as Rex covered, okay, there are different areas of a cloud service. Okay. So there is a infrastructure as a service. So if you look at this topology, okay, at the base you have got complete hardware. So you have got CPU, you have got network, RAMs, disks, everything. Okay, and that comes to your data center part. Okay, now that is the bare minimum backbone of any cloud. Okay, on which they create services. Okay, and that is the infrastructure as a service that comes to us. Okay, so there they will give you a pay as you go service for virtual machines, storages, memories, maybe other infrastructure as well. Okay, so uh, and bigger rather big players in that area are Amazon Web Services, AWS as we call it. We have got GCP, we have got Azure, we have got IBM Bluemix, and all those things. Okay, so all these are right now uh, cloud providers who can provide this kind of a infrastructure as a service. Okay, now there are private players like or private tools like Rackspace and things like that. Okay, or OpenStack. Okay, that can give you a open source version of infrastructure as a storage infrastructure layer as well, or a cloud personal private instance of cloud. Okay, but that is something that you need to, as a private player, that private player will have to manage and maintain it. Okay, on top of it, on top of the base infrastructure, then the cloud providers have provided certain applications, and then they call it as a platform as a service. Okay, for example, you have got Google App Engine, okay, where you can go and host your applications. Okay, you have got some ready to deploy containerized services, databases. For example, if you if you have ever used a database, okay, for example MySQL, some most of you might have used a MySQL. So right now what you have to do is you have to go and install MySQL on a virtual machine. Okay, and if you had to do that, that would be a using infrastructure and installing MySQL on top of it. Now when it comes to PaaS, what you have to do is the worry about the infrastructure hardware goes away. Okay, what you do is your job is just to consume the MySQL instance and pay for the service. You don't have to look at the managing of the MySQL server, you don't have to look at patching, you don't have to look at the upgrades and everything. That is a job done by the cloud provider. As an end user, you have to just go and consume MySQL as a service. Okay, and then on top of this there is the application as a service or software as a service. Okay, now if you I think everybody would have used Google, Gmail, everybody must have used YouTube, Facebook, everything, right? Okay, so all these services have been built as a software as a service, and underlying under the hood they use the platform as a service provided by some cloud provider. So if it is Gmail, it will be GCP. If it is Facebook, they use Amazon. So based on the kind of application they would have a affinity towards one kind of cloud. Okay, so that is what is called as a software as a service. Any questions here? Okay, so we were talking about security. Hello. Guys, can you go on mute? There's a lot of background noise. Yeah, okay. So let us look at the security. So as I mentioned before, okay, uh, what cloud offers you is a suite of shared services, okay, because of which the overall cost reduces. But since it's a shared infrastructure now, so there is a isolation between applications, isolation between your workloads required, okay, and that is again something managed by the vendor or the cloud provider. Okay, so if you look at it, AWS has its own suite of application security components. Okay, if you store a file inside AWS, it is AWS's job that no one else other than the end user will have access to that file or access to that storage. Okay, so they ensure that, our cloud provider ensures that your encryption as rest is taking place. The uh, basically encryption during transit is happening. Nobody else other than the owner of the application or owner of the file will be able to access that. Okay, so network security is like whenever somebody accesses the infrastructure, unless and until you give the access keys to the end user or you give the access to the end user, nobody will be able to even know what is stored inside your cloud. Okay, so they generally apply something known as a least privilege access principle, where unless and until you say yes, a person has got access to view this file or view this storage account or view this server, okay, till then they will not get access to those components. Okay, so basically if you look at all these things, be it file security, network security, workload security, okay, application security, all those things work on the least privilege principle, where only when an end user or the owner of the cloud instance gives access to someone else on that file, only then that would be accessible, or on that infrastructure, only then those components will be accessible to the other users. Till then, whatever you try to do, okay, they will not they will ensure, or the cloud provider will ensure, nobody gets access to the underlying workloads or underlying components. Okay, does that answer your question? I'm not sure who was asking the question, but does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now, what I will cover is quickly, I will cover how does a traditional application architecture work. Okay, how do we before cloud? How was the application deployment done? How would the databases there and things like that? Okay, so before cloud came into picture, okay, generally you would have a suite of application servers and web servers. Okay, where you will deploy your web application server, like it might be something known as Apache or Tomcat or IIS. I think these are generic terms, and most of you might be knowing that, right? So I think IIS is the most common one. So you will have to deploy, or you would have to deploy all of them or install all of them on the host of machines, or a list a number of machines depending on your workloads, and then configure your network. So first of all, when you had to deploy or even today, if you want to deploy a application and make it publicly available, what you will require is, you require internet connection. Hello. Okay. So you will require a public IP, you will require a DNS attached to the machine and all those things, right? Or attached to a public IP. You will require load balancer if you have multiple servers. And under the hood, or at the end, for data storage, you will have a database kind of thing. Okay, and now again, you might want to, depending on your requirement, you might want to make your database HA. You might want to install some kind of a database and things like that. You might want to manage it, everything. Correct. So this is a traditional hosting, where everything, whatever components are required, whatever underlying installations are required, were to be done by the application owner, or somebody who would give you the service. Okay, so everyone would get a public IP, everyone would have to install the database servers, things like that. Okay, now with cloud, what has happened is, So basically, when we say a cloud infrastructure, and we covered something in the previous slide, right? Software platform as a service. Okay. So in cloud, all of these components become as a service, are a part of the platform as a service infrastructure. Okay. And as a platform as a service, what cloud says is you have access to deploy your applications, deploy your services. They provide you service, storage volumes and required other storage, backend storage requirements. It might be a file storage, it might be a database storage, whatever it is. Okay, they give you an option to manage those components. For example, you might want a server with one CPU, two CPU, 10 CPUs. Okay, you might want storage with 100 gigabytes, 1000 gigabytes, or maybe tens of TBs, whatever it is. Okay, and then security as well. So certain concepts of the security are being provided by the cloud provider, or certain components of the security are managed by the cloud provider, and other components are managed by the end user as end user. So basically, when we talk, who would get access to the file? Okay, by default, cloud provider says I provide a least privilege principle, provided you give the access to that file. Okay, he will, end user will not get access, or any other user will not get access to that file. So that is a security that cloud provider maintains. The physical security of the infrastructure is given to you by the cloud provider, but the logical access is to be managed by the end user who is accessing the infrastructure or accessing the components. Any questions here, guys? Let me know if I'm going too fast. Okay. And the next one is I will cover a real world example of a very popular tool. Maybe let us take an example of Instagram. Okay, how is Instagram deployed? How does Instagram work? How do they leverage cloud so that their costs are kept at the minimum and things like that? Okay, so uh, so classic use case in a hardware industry is, and when you talk about pay as you go is, okay, during daytime, I think most of us would be accessing Instagram, right? But during night time, the workload on the or the number of users browsing Instagram would be really very low. Correct? Any so I think most of us here, when they sleep, nobody would be browsing Instagram at all, right? So during those times, generally the workloads would be pretty low. Okay, you may not even require that kind of capacity. Okay, for your applications to manage. Okay, so why do you want to pay for something which you will never use? Okay, so that is where the pay as you go concept comes into picture and helps you. Okay, so generally what happens is a tool like Instagram will have a load balancer in place. Now again, this is a elastic load balancer, is a service provided by AWS. Under the hood, or behind elastic load balancer, you will have a suite of machines. Okay, in our case, let us take a simple example of EC2 instance. EC2 instance is a virtual machine image or virtual machine provided by a cloud provider like AWS. Okay, so and it is a scalable instance. Okay, so when I mean scalable is, what I mean by that is, if one request requires one virtual machine, what scalable infrastructure says is, as your number of requests go on increasing, automatically the underlying infrastructure or underlying server components will also go on scaling. So for 10 requests, if you require one virtual machine, you might require 10 virtual machines to cater to 100 requests. Okay, now how do you scale from 1 to 100? Okay, that is the cloud provider's job. So what you will say is, for 10 requests I need one instance, and for every subsequent additional 10 instances, or sorry, 10 requests, add one more virtual machine. Okay, and then what cloud provider will do for you is, they will just go on adding number of virtual machines based on the logic that you define. Okay, so that is what is the power that cloud provides you. Okay. Now the next is storage. Okay. Now if you look at Instagram kind of application, okay, it has got thousands and thousands of images, maybe millions of images. Let us not talk about thousands. Okay. So how do you manage that kind of storage? Every day you are somebody is uploading reels. Every day somebody is uploading images. Those can be HD videos, non HD videos, everything, right? Okay. And that's a huge amount of data. How do you manage that scale of data? How do you scale up the infrastructure? Okay. And that is where again cloud comes into picture. So if you look at Amazon S3, a single instance of Amazon S3 can manage petabytes of data. Okay. I'm talking about thousands of terabytes of data. Okay. So you can have S3 instances deployed. Okay. As and when a new image is uploaded, or new images get uploaded, the storage volume increases, it scales up, it backs up, all those things are done. And those are the responsibilities of the AWS as a service provider. Application provider or owner has to do is, his job is get the instance or get the image from the end user, upload to AWS. Okay, how to manage it, how to secure it is the cloud provider's job. Okay, and then once you load your Instagram, okay, what happens is, do you most of the times there is a minuscule lag, but immediately those images load up, correct? So how does that happen? So there is something known as a content delivery network. Okay, what happens is, globally these cloud providers have got their edge servers. Okay, and they keep on caching the minimal. So globally they have cache layers implemented in major most of the major cities. So there you will find, if you look at AWS data centers, you will find a edge cache center in Mumbai, Pune, Chennai, Bangalore. Okay, so they have got these cache centers or cache networks or content delivery networks implemented in all these regions. Okay, and what you do is, when you access or when you open your Instagram account, the the application says this user needs access to following images, and then it will directly go to that edge server, download whatever is the latest content which is available and show it to the end user. Okay, and that is where the kind of lag that you see is very minimal. So had it been all the images were only stored in one central location, imagine an end user trying to fetch the data from maybe European server, it takes some lag, right? But now that lag is minimized by this kind of a content delivery network. And then this content delivery network has different kinds of algorithms where it caches all the viral data or viral images, it caches all the viral reels and everything. Okay, so once you access that content, the content is available to you in a really instantaneous matter. And this is the power of the cloud providers that helps you achieve that in a pretty easy manner. You don't have to actually go and build all that infrastructure, all that networking, all that infrastructure, everything. Okay, and that is how generally a application developer like, or an application like Instagram, YouTube. So take any of these most popular applications, this is how they are built. You will always have some kind of a content delivery server, you will have a storage layer, you will have a load balancer, you will have a API layer, and you will have a some kind of a database storage where you will cover keep all the user data, all the metadata, things like that. Guys, any question here? Hello, am I there? Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us.
Okay. So
I think there was some question from someone. I'm not sure.
let me just see.
Can you put on the chat window? possible? Not sure. Any questions?
So I think that's it from my end. Guys, please let me know if things were clear, not clear, so that I can, if any additional information is required, I can give it to guys. I haven't really gone into details because this is just scratching the surface. Okay, but I think looking at the since you are still understanding things, okay, this should give you a very high level idea of what a cloud is, how do you leverage cloud, why is that becoming so popular, and why is the future in this.
I think there is someone raised the hand,
Yeah.
Mr. Chandrasekhar.
Sir, please share your presentation, sir.
Presentation we will share, don't worry.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Very nice presentation.
Okay, so if there's no questions as per se, uh, we are good. If you have any other things which you want us to share based on our actual experiences of implementing different solutions and all, welcome to share. So else we can, close the call. Okay. So good. I think I assume this silence is no. We don't have any other questions to ask. So good team. I don't know, Bhupati sir, you are there or anyone sir there from the college. Uh, so we are good. So if we are good, in case anyone has any more details, personally want to ask anything, do please reach out to the professor. Yeah, yeah. Then in Daneshwar. So if you have anything, please do reach out. And thanks for the time, team, for giving us and listening to us. Hope this would help you guys in and teachers in some or other way. If you need a deep dive teachers sessions, faculty members, you do can ping us back. Thank you very much. Thanks for the time. Thanks, Kaustubh.
Thank you guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It was such an insightful and engaging session. It was truly enlightening. The feedback form link has been posted in the chat box. Participants, please take a moment to provide your valuable feedback. Finally, we have come to the end of today's session. We extend gratitude to the organizing team whose dedication and meticulous planning have made this event possible. We would like to thank our esteemed resource persons, Mr. Rex Jesudas sir, and also Mr. Kaustubh sir. Thank you, sir. We are truly grateful for your expertise, dedication, and the valuable insights you have shared with us today. We would like to thank the distinguished faculties and researchers. Your presence enriched this program with diverse perspectives and valuable contributions. Thank you all for being part of this exciting journey. Let us embark on this week with enthusiasm and share a commitment to academic excellence and discovery.
Thank you. Good day. Have
Thank
a
you
nice
guys.
weekend.
Bye bye.
Thanks for Chalo.